Hi, Mike Milan,
Dana Henson.
and we are making a podcast.
It's happening.
It really is. A lot of steps kind of took place before we got to the recording process.
Yeah, I don't think it's really the time right now. I mean, we're only in the first 15 seconds of the show to go into the history of our friendship.
Right.
Because that's a long, checkered story. But let's just talk about what
Maybe what kind of brought us to this point right here.
like to the podcast.
Well, here's the way I remember it. And tell me if I'm wrong or stop me if you feel like, well, hey, before you say that, I want to say this. Your brother started about a year ago a YouTube channel, Disregarding Henry. Look it up if you haven't, guys. Anything you want to know about film, Tyler Henson has a really awesome YouTube channel. And it kind of inspired us to kind of get off our asses. And I can say that now. I can curse. That's so fucking cool.
Yeah. We have the freedom now.
Yeah.
We're used to high school radio where we couldn't even make a
I couldn't even fart on the microphone and I'd get like ISS.
Yeah.
I'd get suspended from school.
Yeah, which we did quite a bit of that anyways. But
Yeah, God. Legally, I think we're out of the statute. I think it's against a lot of fart on a microphone.
I don't know. I just
don't
feel
know.
bad for the people who used it afterwards.
Which is like thousands of kids.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, that's going way back. Dan and I used to have a radio show in 2009. I think I was a junior when we started it.
0910 was our show, you and me. It was called The Morning Kazam, and we had a great time doing it. We just played. The show was supposed to be the best hits and the new tunes, but we ended up playing mostly stuff from the 70s and 80s.
Weird, obscure stuff, man.
Yeah, and we basically got away with it by just saying like. We would tell our teacher, Devo has this new album out. Can we do like a Devo retrospective?
Right, yeah, we lied so much.
Yeah, which sometimes it was true. Like at the time, Devo did have a new album.
Right, and like Meatloaf, I remember we did like a Meatloaf album and he had like some new stuff coming out.
But we would kind of get away with it by doing like, we're doing like a retrospective. And we could play like his stuff from the 70s and the 80s. And
basically, I don't want to offend anybody, but that station fucking sucked. I hate new music. I really do. I think everything is just so... I don't want to seem like one of those snobby guys, but it's like I can't listen to Nicki Minaj. I don't even know, is that even her name?
Yeah.
Like I just can't listen to that shit. And that's all that station played. It's a high school station, so kids want to hear the Lil Waynes and the Nicki Minaj's. And I could actually listen to Lady Gaga. I almost say Lady Gaga, but she's all right. But that's why I don't want to sound like a complete dick. But a lot of that stuff I can't stand.
I define it as the top 100 because it's the stuff that's manufactured to chart, like get millions and millions, billions of hits on YouTube, and then
I think that's why,
and then it's forgotten about 3 months down the line.
Yeah, like nobody remembers that song. I mean, you remember the beat, but that's it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's why our show was so badass because we broke that and we played stuff like Devo and The Who and the Ramones and just played whatever we felt like this would be sweet. Let's do this.
We did some new stuff too. I remember we tried to find newer artists and things like that were good. Like I remember we really liked that Shout Out Louds.
I haven't listened to anything from them.
It's been a long time, but I remember that album that came out at the time. We played it a lot.
Yeah,
and we really liked it.
And then we did some weird shit too for Oregon. Like I remember one of our most requested songs was "I Love My Ducks."
Yeah,
remember when that shit came out?
The Rose Bowl thing.
Yeah, I smell roses. Yeah, that thing was so popular. We did
of the football players.
Oh
really.
yeah, of course. Yeah. And I know I'm thinking of a kid in particular, Kyle Tedder.
Yeah,
he would call the show like
every
a couple
morning.
times a day.
Yeah,
sometimes.
pretty much. Like I want to hear "I Love My Ducks."
Yeah,
play it right now.
Go do it for me, Milan. Like oh yeah. So if Kyle Tedder's listening to this, you're the first name we've dropped on this podcast.
The first of many.
Right, yeah.
Unless you count Tyler, but
oh yeah.
Back on track.
Back on track.
He was doing that Disregarding Henry show,
right? His YouTube channel, and it inspired us.
Yeah,
totally.
We were just sitting on our asses, and
I mean, we were both working stiffs.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's not like we were just like on the couch, like, oh, what do we do today?
Yeah.
No, I mean, we were definitely working a lot, and kind of using that as an excuse to be lazy when we got home and not really do anything, just watch movies or read books or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely still active in our interests, but just as a creative output, we haven't had anything in a pretty long time.
And the thing is, Dana and I mean, we live 3 hours apart. I mean, you live on the south coast of Oregon, and I live in the northern kind of central part in Salem.
Right.
So that was a big, barrier too, is we weren't close to each other. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden we started traveling back and forth and realized it's really not that bad of a drive. 3 hours is a breeze if you have something to look forward to.
Yeah, for sure. And it really just kind of came about. We've been talking about a podcast for years, really.
Yeah, honestly,
ever since we got out of high school.
Yeah,
really.
after the Kazam, we're like, well, what if we could do it uncensored? We could fucking do it our way. But with college in the way and then jobs and all that, we just really kind of put it on the back burner.
Yeah, and I remember it kind of went through many iterations. We had an idea where it'd be like a music podcast, or it'd basically be a version of the Kazam.
Yeah,
and we'd be basically just playing playing the shit we couldn't really play on a high school station, and then just kind of, be more like us off camera.
Right, and kind of have like our humor and stuff in it. And just, I mean, no one could say anything. It's a podcast. You can't tell us not to curse. You can't tell us not to say that or play that or do this. Like, so
and that, I think at the time, because we were fresh out of high school, we didn't really have the equipment.
No, or any money. I mean, this shit isn't free. You don't just, get free microphones, free audio recorders, and a computer. I mean, you have to have money.
Yeah, and I mean, our teacher at the high school station, I can Steve, like he's a great dude, and he would have let us go in and record shows, but
right.
I think there was also a part of us that was like, we don't want to stay at the high school forever and do stuff over there.
And it would feel kind of weird, honestly, doing explicit material there. Yeah. Because that was so, like, not an okay thing for us. Like, we weren't allowed to do that.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I'd feel comfortable, like, if he was ever there one night and we're recording a show and I'm like, fucking blah, blah, blah. Like, I feel like that'd be uncomfortable.
Yeah, we kind of have an image, too, just to kind of maintain over there.
Right. I mean, because we killed it on that radio show.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not even an overstatement. That's not us bragging. I mean, that was the best show they've probably ever had, hands down. I mean, we were kick ass.
We did continue with it. I had to continue with it.
I didn't. I went off to college.
Yeah, so. And the 2010,
Dana's a year behind me. We should probably say that. Yeah, you were a junior when I was a senior.
Right, yeah. And basically, I graduated 2011, and during the 2010-2011 year, I co-hosted with my good friend Brett. And if you watch Disregarding Henry stuff, then you'll probably see a link to Idiot Box stuff, and that's my channel. And there's a show I do called Q Builder with Brett. We haven't done an episode in a little while, but that show is kind of, it's kind of what our chemistry is, just kind of silly. And we kind of took the Kazam in a different direction, kind of more of the same. We played a lot of the same things that we played as the Kazam, but we kind of made it our own that year.
It wasn't just like we just replaced Mike with Brett. I mean, you guys kind of made it your own deal.
It wasn't a Blues Brothers 2000 situation.
Oh, man. Yeah, we got rid of John Belushi. We put in John Goodman. We swapped a John for a John.
Yeah, it wasn't like that. It was fun. I mean, I really liked both years I did it. And then actually after that, I don't want to digress too much, but I had another show that I did with another guy named Matt Walker, who's in the Navy right now. I don't know where he is. I'd like to
probably
see.
under the ocean.
Yeah,
under the sea.
Under the sea. Yeah, and so I mean, I definitely had roots in that station even after I graduated, but
much more so than I.
Yeah, because once you were gone, you were pretty much
left.
gone.
I mean, I left town. I skipped town. I wanted to get out of Coos Bay. That's where we went to high school so badly. But anyway, back to how this started. I remember we had a few ideas. Do we stay to the high school thing, like where we're doing music, or do we just converse and see what the fuck happens? And that to me sounded a lot more fun, to where we don't have to have a theme. We don't have to have something that, we can always expect. But if we want to talk about music, we want to talk about movies, comic books, or a concert we just saw or something like that, then why not? You know?
And that was when I was in college, which was about 2012, 2013, around that year, or maybe 2013, 2014. I remember I was texting you like, because I was watching a lot of stuff and you were watching a lot of stuff, and I remember I texted you with an idea. How about we do a podcast over Skype?
Oh yeah.
And I wanted it to be like, I think I wanted to call it, I don't remember the name, but it was going to be kind of like a 2-2-2 thing, where it's like we talk about, each of us pick one.
I remember that.
Yeah, each of us pick one movie, one book, and one album every episode. And so we basically are covering a whole range of media, and kind of just talking about...
That would have been like a 3-hour episode. I mean,
I remember
a movie, and an album from each of us. Yeah, that would have been a long show.
I remember we wanted to limit it to 10 minutes each, so it'd be 60 minutes.
Frick.
Yeah, that would have been tough.
That would have been hard.
Yeah, because every time I tried to do like, we'll only talk for 10 minutes, it
turns out to like 90 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. So... that never really happened. Maybe that's kind of what this will evolve to later, though.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? I'm not trying to put a label on it. I mean, we'll just see what happens. But let's get to some funny stuff. So I just like 2 days ago, I was feeling really inspired, and I was like, I really want to get this podcast started. I really want to get it done. So I texted Andy Moe, who's a good friend of ours, and we're recording at his studio right now.
Yeah, you can call it the Andy Moe Studios.
The Andy Moe Studio.
He's our engineer.
Unimostal Studios. I don't know what I'm saying. Anyway, and he was like, yeah, I mean, that sounds fun and all that, and he kind of agreed to be like our engineer, our tech guy. He helped us, get all this shit set up. And I texted him. I was like, dude, I got this amazing. I was at work, and I was like, I got this amazing idea. I want to do a show. Blah 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 blah. I sent him a little bit of our script. And he was like, yeah, well, fuck it. We'll just try it. And then I called Dana. I'm like, Dana, is there any way you can come up to Salem on one of your days off? And it turns out Dana was already close to me. Dana was about 30 minutes away from me in Portland, visiting another set of friends. And I was like, oh, this is going to come together really nicely. So last night, I called Dana on the phone. We agree, okay, well, we're going to meet up this morning. We'll go. I know I need to get an audio recorder, so I was like, all right, I got to go buy one of those. And Dana wanted to stop by a record store. We had a few errands we wanted to run before we got this thing going.
Kind of a busy day.
It was a very busy day because right now it's like after 8 p.m. our time, and I don't know why I said our time, like in case we have like people from China
listening live.
Yeah, right, like listening live. Well, time has no relevance at all because we're not even gonna release this right now.
But there was like our usual hanging out sessions. Usually time is kind of like in a stasis, because usually we're just at your house, like sitting around watching a movie and
drinking.
Yeah, exactly. And time just kind of flies by. Today was like we kind of started early and we were running around a lot.
Yeah, because you literally woke me up. My girlfriend woke up and went to work, and I heard her wake up and all that, and then I went back to bed. And it seems like I went, like, as soon as I saw her get up out of bed and I fell back asleep, it seems like I immediately opened my eyes and Dana's just standing in my bedroom. And I'm like,
I wanted to get into bed with you, but I didn't have the time.
I woke up. Like,
you woke up right when I walked in.
Yeah, I subconsciously like felt a presence. I'm like, someone's fucking in here. I opened my eyes. Bam, Dana's got this big smile on his face. Like, I could tell he had something up his sleeve, and I'm like, dude, I just woke up. Like,
yeah, just filling the space because I wasn't saying anything.
Yeah,
I was just leering over you.
Just looking at me, dude. Like, I'm like, how did you get in here? You're like, the front door was unlocked. I'm like, oh.
I could have been anybody, and I just walked right in your house.
Yeah, man, I kind of wish you were just some random guy. What are you doing in here? The door was unlocked. I'm like, all right, let me take a shit and brush my teeth and like, well, give me a second. Cause like the first thing he said to me is like, oh, I want to go to the record store. I'm like, dude, I'm in bed. Like, I'm not even awake really. I want to go to the record store. Okay.
Daddy, take me to the record store.
Raging Waters. So I'm gonna take him to the water park. Like, no, so it's like, all right, give me a minute. Let me get my fucking bearings straight, and then we'll go do whatever stupid shit you want to go do. So yeah, I got ready to go, and so I immediately like I wore the same clothes I woke up in, and like. I got in the car and I was like, yeah, man, podcast. Like, let's do this thing. And like, we were talking about the podcast and you were like, I'm really hungry. Let's go get some food. So yeah, we went out to lunch. And as soon as I started the car, we started talking about the podcast and maybe like what we wanted to name it. And I swear to God, before we even got out of the parking lot of my apartment, we had a name. What was it that we saw that immediately just reminded us, like, oh shit, that's what we should name it?
Of the name that we have now.
Yeah, I'm trying to piece together this morning because it was like I remember I saw it and I was like, oh shit, we should name it that.
I think it was because you played the song on your phone. Because when we were pulling out of your driveway, and I think you started playing it.
No, I didn't have it on my phone yet.
Really?
Yeah.
I see. The way I remember it is we were playing the song, and then as you were singing. You're like, that's it. Like, this is it right now. That's kind of what I recall, but
shit, I don't remember. I can't. I have a shit memory.
Yeah,
but
I mean, this
anyway.
was just this morning. We already forgot.
So yeah, that was like not even 12 hours ago. That was like 6 hours ago.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, so the name of the show is Have Pod Will Travel.
Right.
And that is inspired by. It's actually a really famous blues song, but my favorite rendition of it comes from a pair of buddies who just killed it, and they are
Dan Aykroyd and Jim Belushi. As I think the band's actual name is Have Love Will Travel.
I think so,
because that's all the YouTube clips you find. It's Have Love Will Travel, Time Won't Let Me, whatever.
Right.
So it's kind of their post Blues Brothers claim to fame for music. I mean, they've both done I'll say both of them have done good work in the acting world.
Yeah, I mean Jim Belushi. I remember he did a lot of stuff on the. Now, for those of you out there, there is a difference between John Belushi and Jim Belushi.
Big
They are
difference.
brothers. Yeah, the original Blues Brothers was Dan Aykroyd and John Belushi, and John has a little brother named Jim, and so Dan Aykroyd and him, like, I guess, hung out one night and were like, got drunk and decided to make some music.
Yeah, they're playing some poker, and then they're just like, "Hey, how about we do an album?"
And Jim's like, "Let's do it, man!" Like, yeah.
And then they didn't change out of their poker clothes and started
Yeah,
making an album.
yeah.
Because we watched some YouTube concert clips of them, and that was like the first thing you said to me is they look like poker players.
Yeah, like they don't look. I mean, not that I wanted them to look like the Blues Brothers,
Yeah.
but I mean, I like to gamble. I'm in casinos quite a bit, and like they look like professional gamblers, like those fucking like guys they'll sit at a table for 8 hours. You know
those
what I
cheap
mean?
suits. Yeah,
Yeah, those
like-
really cheap suits, like a fancy Hawaiian tie, like
Yeah.
some stupid elaborate tie.
Mhm.
They look like Jimmy Buffett fans that like are like moderately successful in the world.
And knowing that Mike was a big Blues Brothers fan, I had
I
actually.
mean, I have a Blues Brothers tattoo. I mean, that's how big of a fan I am. I mean,
yeah,
and maybe one day we'll talk about my connection to that movie.
we could
'cause I
have a big Blues Brothers episode.
I have a really deep connection to that original film.
Right. We could even go into the sequel, but
Oh God, I don't know.
basically, I knew Mike was a big Blues Brothers fan, and somehow or another, I came across that CD, and I just was like, "What is this?" and played it, and I was like, "Okay, so this is the Blues Brothers, but not." And I showed it to Mike probably 2 weeks ago. if
Yeah,
that?
well, what you did was you had me pull it up on YouTube,
Yeah.
and the
Yeah.
live rendition of the video isn't very impressive.
No.
It seems like Dan Aykroyd just slightly out of shape, and Jim Belushi just seems drunk.
Yeah.
And it just wasn't. I mean, like the band was great.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
the band was phenomenal, and their little backing vocalists. But both those guys just seemed kind of like out of it.
Yeah.
It was just okay. If anyone's ever been to Vegas, it was like going to an Elvis show that's not very good. Like you see, like there used to be some former glory there, but it's just kind of an imposter.
Yeah.
And that honestly, that sounds a little bit harsh, strictly based on my first impression of the live recording I saw.
Yeah.
But the studio version that we listened to maybe 18, 20 times today is
Yeah.
actually really tight and not bad.
Yeah. We were cranking it pretty loud in the car today because after we came up with the name, Half Pod Will Travel, we were like, let's get inspired. And then
Yeah.
we just basically had that song on a loop everywhere we were driving today.
And we rocked out. I mean,
Yeah.
it was a lot of fun. So we went and we had lunch, and I was Googling up on my phone like where I could pick up an audio recorder because you can't just plug your mic into your computer and have it work. Like I wanted like a little box I could plug my microphone into, mess with some levels, get it recording on a computer, and have some kind of production value to this thing. And so while Dane is stuffing his face with pancakes or French toast.
yeah, it
French
was
toast.
banana. No, it wasn't banana. It was vanilla bean, French toast, creme brulee.
from Word of Mouth.
Yeah.
Bistro in
Oh my
Salem.
God. It was
One of the best spots in Salem. Word of Mouth. If you're in Salem, check them out. They're
Yeah, it
freaking
was
phenomenal.
first time I ate there, and Jesus, it was.
We have the leftovers in the fridge. I mean, the portions are. Anyway, this isn't a Word of Mouth podcast.
We should do a breakfast podcast.
We should do, and we should eat and have a little nasty.
Just all mouth noises.
So anyway, so we're leaving, and I'm like, oh well, maybe I should go to Best Buy. And Dana's like, oh maybe. I'm like, well maybe I should go to Radio Shack. And Dana's like, oh maybe. Then he's like, why don't you look for like a store that specializes in audio equipment? And I just looked up audio stores near me. And sure enough, I found a store, Audio Masters of the Universe. Because the story isn't that positive, I don't know if I want to use their real name.
Yeah, don't go with the real name. Let's go with Audio Masters.
Audio Masters of the Universe. And
Right.
I'm like, oh shit, it's only 3 minutes away. So it sounded like a really good idea. So we get in the car and I start playing the song, Have Love Will Travel. And we're rocking out, we're having a good time. This place is only 3 minutes away. So we pull up into the spot. And like and it's like it was kind of like on an empty road.
It was like all like crack houses, and then this place.
Yeah,
like,
the place wasn't dirty or grimy.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong.
It was just a weird line.
It was like an
that it was-
industrial part of the town that just had like crack shacks, factories, and then this spot.
Yeah.
So I pull in. I'm like, oh, this must be the place. And there's literally like 9 pieces of paper on the door that say like, if you're looking for rentals, go here. If you're doing this, go here. If you're going, I'm like, just want to fucking go in here,
Yeah.
man. Like, well, how do I get in the building?
I wasn't even sure it was open because of how many like signs on it.
Yeah,
I
there
thought
were
it was
so many signs on the door.
I thought it was closed down for good, and but there's a big neon open sign. And you're like, look, dipshit, it's open.
Yeah,
let's
like
go
literally, he's
inside.
like, is it even open? I'm like, there's a fucking flashing open sign. Like, it's clearly open. So we go in, and like there was like some distinct chuckling and talking, and then as soon as like like we walk in, like people stop and look at us. Like, we're in the fucking wrong spot, Danny. Like, we're gonna get mugged.
Like
we need to leave.
was like the sketch audio place.
Yeah,
like,
there was like 12 dudes like standing around talking, and all of a sudden we walk in. It's
you
like
need to have an amp tattoo on your back to like to make it in.
right. It's like that moment like when like you like like when you like there's a scene in a movie like the needle drops. It's like
Yeah.
and, like the music stops and everyone looks at like a pair of dudes that like walk into a joint. That's exactly what happened to us.
Yeah.
It was only missing that.
Yeah.
And like if it had that, it would have been amazing. So anyway, I don't know who works there. There's just so many people just standing around.
Yeah,
so.
just kind of in like a high school huddle,
Yeah,
like,
so
it was kind of weird.
I'm kind of approaching this group, and I'm like, stay close to me, Dana. Like, I don't know what's gonna happen. So I approach this group. I'm like, hi, I'm looking for an audio recorder, and this tall fucking guy, like this big guy, is like, what? And I'm like, shit, I'm in the wrong fucking place. Like, this sucks.
Yeah, not a good sign.
Not a good start.
When you're at the professional audio place and you say, I want an audio recorder, and he looks at you just with a blank stare, nothing behind his eyes.
And he's just so clearly I had to break it down to something a little bit more primitive. I want to plug my microphone in a device and record it on my computer. Oh, okay. Why did you say so?
He was kind of more just like, okay, all right, like kind of like that.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
It kind of took him like to process it. It's like he almost had to like go through the file cabinet in his brain. And,
yeah,
like,
he was a little older, you know.
and just look up the word digital, look up the word audio, and then combine it all to make a
I
sentence.
picture somebody
like,
literally like going through his brain, like, oh no, load this program, idiot. Like, tell him this. So he's like, oh, he goes, well, I'm pretty much out of stock of exactly what you're looking for, but I got something else if you want to try it. Okay, like tell me what it is. So we follow him over to this like little mock DJ setup he has, and he's like, this is what you want. And he's pointing out this blue box. What is it, dude? Like, do your freaking job.
and like, we just be like, okay, and like grab it and buy it.
Yeah, like okay, like thanks, buddy. Like, no, fucking inform me. Tell me what's going on. So he's like, it works with an iPad. Tell me what it is. Like, I don't.
It's great because we kind of shut him down. Like he was like, "Oh, this is great. You guys own iPads?" And both of us are like, "No,
No, I don't have a fucking iPad."
And then he was like, "Oh," and then he just kind of looks at it for a minute, and he's like, "Well, you can use it on." And you were like, "I have a laptop." He's like, "You could use it on your laptop."
Yeah, I saved him. Like he was drowning. I throw him a bone. He's like, "Oh, okay, it will work on your laptop." Like, like really desperate, like grasping for like the words.
Mm-hmm.
And then he said something really fucking weird. So still, I don't know what this does. Like, he just pointing at this box that looks like it has inputs, but he's not telling me shit about it. So far, I know two things. It's a box, it's $160, and it works with an iPad. Not interested in really either one of those things. Like, none of them. So then, I'm like, all right, well, can I plug my microphone into it? He goes, yeah, you can plug two microphones into it, and it plugs into your computer or your laptop or your iPad with a USB. I'm like, I don't care about the iPad. I want to know if it'll work in a computer. And he's like, oh, yeah, sure. He goes, what you can do is plug it in your laptop, which I don't fucking have one. But he goes, you can plug it in your laptop, and then you can go out into a field. And when you're in your field, you can, grab your guitar, and you can just start playing. Pause. Like, what the fuck? Well, you just go out into a field. I don't want to go into a field, man. I want to sit in my house, and I want to record a show. Why are you telling me this field shit? I don't like. Why would you say that?
I just picture like, just like amongst all this like honeysuckle and shit, just like
these like ears of corn.
Yeah,
like,
and we're just standing there with straw hats and this like
blue overalls,
and just like high tech audio equipment in front of us.
just straw in our mouths. Yeah, and stuff, like ding 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 ding.
Yeah, like just so I don't know why. I would think like if you're selling the portability, and just be like, oh yeah, you can take this anywhere. You can. You could go over to like a friend's house and record with it.
God, if you would have said that, I would have bought it. I would have been like, snap decision. Fuck yeah. Like if I can take it anywhere, but why say I can go onto it? I mean, like, okay, I'm a fat guy. Like, why would I go to a field? Like,
to record some sweet licks.
To like take my acoustic guitar out there and go pick away at the strings. Like it's just like the two of us, and I'm just like, okay, I can go out into a field and record a song. He goes, oh yeah, you betcha. I'm like, all right, then I guess that's all I need to know. And then luckily, by the grace of God, there was a younger guy. I mean, like I said, there's like 12 people there. There's a younger guy. He's like, hey, I use that thing. It's awesome. It easily hooks up to your computer. You plug your microphones into it. You say your music, or you play your music. You record your voice. You can set up different tracks. It comes with some software you can install on your computer. So me and Dana walked past this bozo who wants us to go onto a field with him, and we go up to this younger guy, and like this younger guy's like, hey, I got it on my computer right here. I can show you what the software looks like. And
the software you were using at this moment.
Right, yeah, we're using it right now, but we didn't buy it from them. But that's the different part of the story. So, sorry if I'm bogarting the mic, but I had this great idea. I just want to get out there. But it's like, so this guy's like showing us, like this younger guy showing us all the stuff. He's like, I really loved it. He goes, my model is a lot cheaper. He goes, this one is $160. He goes, mine was $99 because it doesn't have the iPad connectivity. And I'm like, well, I told that fucking guy 3 times, I don't have an iPad. I have no interest in an iPad. I just want to record on my computer. He goes, oh, dude, there's a $100 model that's just as good. It just doesn't have the iPad connectivity. I'm like, oh, then sell me that one. That's what I'm trying to ask for. We don't have it. Oh, great. So, and he goes, well, you can order it and I'll be here in a few days. And I'm like, fuck that. I want to record today. So Dane and I are kind of trying to leave this place because they're trying to like sell us some stuff, and we're trying to politely decline everything. And I just say, hey, look, we're new to this. Do you have a business card? Give me your business card and I'll do some more research. I'll come back and talk to you guys. Really trying to leave, get out of here.
Well, we didn't really do like a hard maybe next time. We were still kind of like, oh, this is good software, like kind of good. And he was still kind of lingering next to us to kind of be like, So
what do you boys think?
Yeah,
should I box her up?
To kind of make the sale, so he can maybe get his little kickback or whatever. And it kind of just turned into like, we looked at the equipment and then we're like, okay, and we kind of stood in the middle of the
Store?
building, yeah. And he was just kind of standing there, and nobody was really saying anything.
It was really weird.
Yeah, and then you were like, do you have a business card?
Yeah, that's it, exactly, yeah.
And he was like, yeah. And he was
just looking forward to anything to talk to.
Yeah.
Like, talk about, like...
Yeah, I think he was just waiting for us just to break and be like, buy it. Like
we need to call that guy the drowner. He kept drowning, we kept saving him. Like, he's just looking at us. We're just all looking at each other, not buying anything, not talking about anything. And I'm like... sorry, we have a dog in the studio. The dog is so excited that we're recording. She's excited to have friends here. Hi, Mara. Anyway, so we're all standing there really awkward because no one else is talking. Like, out of those bros, no one else is talking. And we tell the guy, we're all staring at each other. I'm like, you got a business card? Like, God, just get me out of here. Like, it was either do that or literally run for the door.
Yeah,
And as fast as I can, like, pull out of there.
Yeah.
So I thought I'd break the silence. Do you have a business card?
And he was just like, yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. It's like the same thing. Like, I don't have an iPad. Can I use it on a laptop? Yeah, laptop. Like,
yeah.
Same kind of deal.
You could get 10 laptops in the field. Use them all.
Yeah, it's like, is it portable? Yeah, you can go right to a field. What? Like, I don't give a shit.
And then he gives us each a card. And then we shake his hand.
I shook his hand.
Yeah, I shook his hand too.
I shook his hand.
Yeah,
that was weird. I don't know why I did that.
Thank you, man. And he was like, "Is this your name on the card?" He's like, "Yeah."
Yeah. Are you this guy? Yep, I sure am. Okay.
And they're like, "Well, we'll come back later and talk about it." He's like, "Yeah." And we left, and we just kind of looked at each other like, I think the first thing we said was a fucking field.
Like, what was that shit about the field? Like, is what I said to you. I'm like, what was that? I like to take girls out to the field and play some music. It's like, what is going on in that building? Like, how do you get it? Thank God for that young guy, because after that field stuff, I just would have ran out.
And actually, after that, we became really informed of what we were looking for.
Exactly. It really kind of helped us out because we're like, okay, we want that cheaper box. We're looking for that recording box.
Yeah. And so then after that, we went to Best Buy.
Best Buy, bless their hearts, but they tried. They tried. But they were
They do have
absolutely
good customer
clueless.
service there.
Yeah, I mean, yes. I mean, they didn't have what we were looking for, but I was actually really surprised that they actually gave a shit about us and even tried.
Yeah, they actually suggested some alternatives and stuff like that, and so they were pretty helpful too.
Right, and
just
then
didn't have what we were looking for.
Yeah, and then one of the guys was like, "Well, you know what you're looking for, you two idiots? Go to the Guitar Center." because they have all the the pro audio. They can do all that stuff.
We owe that guy a drink.
His name was Mario.
Mario. Yeah, we owe Mario a drink.
We definitely owe Mario a beer.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, Mario, that's a fucking great idea. Like, yeah, let's go over to we went to what, Guitar Center?
Yeah, we went to Guitar Center, and that's where we picked up the very mixer that we're using right now, the audio recording device.
And it was the exact one the guy was talking about. He's like, I have the one that's $99. It doesn't have the iPad connectivity. So I go to Guitar Center, and the one thing I like about Guitar Center is like no one came up and talked to us. Like no one bothered us. Like no one, like I was looking for my shit, and like eventually a guy came over to us like, hey, do you need to find anything? He wasn't like, oh, what are you boys up to? Like, let's sell you this. Like, it was really low key.
Completely the opposite of the other store, the first store, where he's just like staring at us and
like
making us uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's like I was able to like look at the box. I'm like, no, I have exactly what I'm looking for. And like the only thing he tried to upsell me on was like, do you have cables and microphones? I'm like, yeah, I got all that. And he goes, okay, well, do you want the extended warranty? And
I actually remember one other detail.
Shit, I'm forgetting something
of the Audio Masters. Remember when you were like, I just need an audio recording device that doesn't have the iPad connectivity, and it's like, sorry, and he was like, you're like, I have the cords, I have the mics, and he's like.
I didn't say it, dude.
And then he's like, how about this? And he gets okay, I gotta take a breath.
Okay.
He gets a $300 box. That comes with...
Oh, yeah, that's right. This is at the first store, right?
Yeah. The Audio Masters. He gets a $300 box that comes with the microphones, the cables, and the audio thing.
And I explicitly told him.
Like 3 times, you're like, I have the mics, I have the cables. I don't need that.
Yeah, that's actually one of the first things I said to him.
Yeah.
I said, I need an audio recording device. I go, I have microphones, I have cables. I just need the device to plug my mics and cables into and then get it on my computer.
Yeah. And
then that's when he was like, oh, duh, I don't know. And then like back over when he was talking about the iPad connectivity, I'm like, yeah, I'm not interested. I have everything I need. I just need the box. Like, I just need the box.
Yeah. And then he's like, how about this? And he gives us the microphone, the XLR cables, and the audio mixer. He's like, but it doesn't have the iPad connectivity. Like, do you want this? And we're like, no.
I have all that, dude.
And it's like, and it's like way out of our price range too. And we're like, we don't need it.
Yeah, I told him, I'm not looking to spend over $100 on this. I'm like, I'm not trying to. This is a shitty little thing we're doing. This isn't like high tech, like state of the art.
But as we're looking at the software, he kept like showing it to us and stuff. And we're just
like 3 times he fucking showed us that box.
Yeah, and we're like, we don't know. Like, put it back.
No, like that guy was like Chris Farley at the end of that skit when he's the Chippendale skit.
Yeah.
When they tell him he's not good enough and he gets all sad and shit.
Yeah.
And he's just like, and then he tries dancing again. They're like, no, stop. And he's just like, yeah. It's like that guy was just like, no, stop. Like, put it. We don't even want to talk to you.
Yeah.
The younger guy knows way more because this guy, like, he's like, oh, I do podcasting too, and he's like, yeah, like he goes, mine's probably better than yours. But,
yeah.
No, I mean, he was actually really nice. He was actually really nice.
Yeah.
And so back to Guitar Center. The guy's like, do you need microphone and cables? And I'm like, fuck, dude. Like, no, I don't need anything. Just sell me the box. And he goes, well, do you want an extended warranty? He goes, it's $18. He goes, you can pee on it. He literally said, you spill beer on it, you can pee on it. Like, what kind of lifestyle do you think I live? And then I look down at myself, and I'm a wreck. I got, like, syrup on my T-shirt from breakfast. I'm wearing, like, shorts and, like, mismatching socks and stuff. And I'm like, he probably thinks I'm on drugs.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, he's like, if anything happens, so he goes, if you drop it, if your buddy picks it up and kicks it, like, you just bring it back, we'll get you all hooked up. I'm like, for $18, I guess I won't say no to that. He goes, oh, yeah, it's good for 2 years. Oh, no, I'm sorry. At first, I said no. I'm like, bro, I'm just trying to get this box. I just want to get the box. I want to go home. He's like, all right. And he starts ringing it up and all that. And he goes, have you shopped with us before? I go, yeah. And he goes, can I have your phone number? So he puts my phone number in the system. And he goes, oh, okay. Like, I got your account here and all that. And he goes, are you sure you don't want the warranty? He goes, it's $18. He goes, like, it's $18.99. It covers it for 2 years. No matter what happens to it, you just bring it back to us. You don't even have to bring the box. You just bring the device and we'll hook you up with a brand new one. You walk out the door. Okay, I said, fine, just put it on there. I'll just do it. What's $20 to save this thing, just in case anything were to happen to it. And that made his day. And I can't believe he's like, if you pee on it, like, what? I'm not recording R. Kelly albums. Like, I'm not.
He's used to dealing with rock stars,
Yeah,
like, he's seen everything.
Yeah, he looked like he was an ex-roadie. He had long hair, big long beard.
Yeah.
And I have tattoos, so he probably thought I was like like, cool. Maybe I'm giving myself too much credit. But anyway, I'm just like, nah, dude. Like, I'm not gonna pee on it. I want to get weird with it, but I don't think I'm gonna pee on it.
Yeah. And basically just selling his party protection is kind of what he was doing. Which I mean is worth it, because I mean, like, you never know.
It's $100, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I mean, I'll put 20% extra on it, you know. I think my math is right, you know, $20 extra, and it covers it no matter what happens. So
yeah, so
and I don't even have to keep the receipt, which is awesome. It's linked to my phone number, so he plugs my phone number, boom, I'm in, I'm out the door.
It's the modern world.
Hey, that's it, convenience. So then it's about what, like 3:00 at this point in time. Yeah, so we head back to my house, you know, use the bathroom, because I really had to go use the bathroom again.
All day you were telling me, like at the record store you were telling me, at the breakfast place you were telling me, at the Audio Masters you were telling me, Best Buy.
Audio Masters of the universe. Yeah, Best Buy was getting really bad because we stood around waiting so much for that. They were like looking shit up and all that. And I'm like, dude, I really gotta use the bathroom. And you asked me, like, do you want to use the bathroom here? And I'm like, fuck no, like, I don't want to go here. And then I thought, well, nobody probably uses the bathroom at Best Buy. Like, I don't really see that as like a bathroom that people go to. So it probably would have been great. It probably would have been like clean and brightly lit.
I bet they have like one of those urinal games too, where you like pee on a ladder to like put it out and stuff. Like, you know, have you seen those?
No.
They're in Japan. It's like they have urinal games where it's like it'll be like tower defense, or there's like people climbing up a ladder, like
you
to
gotta
get you,
pee on them,
and you gotta pee on them, and they fall off the ladder. Like, it's peeing in Japan is great.
Wow.
I haven't been there personally. I've just heard about it.
I've been to China. I need to go to Japan next to go pee on some people.
Yeah.
Pee ladder shoot.
Like, I bet they're at Best Buy. Like, I bet that
would be the place to have it. I bet.
Yeah.
Would be pee ladder shoot. I don't know if that's what it's called.
It's our
but
game.
I think I just invented it.
Yeah.
So, we come back to my house, and you know, we put our leftovers in the fridge and all that. We actually bought some goodies at Best Buy. I got my girlfriend loves Zootopia. She just thought it was like the best movie of all time.
Right.
So I spent like $40 on this huge Zootopia box set.
Mm-hmm. I bought a couple Blu-rays too, because I'm so used to, in Little Old Coos Bay we have a Walmart, and we have a $5 bin in Walmart. I'm just so used to digging through that and finding the same bullshit.
Yeah, just like like Ninja Turtles and Willy Wonka, and then like some shitty like John Grisham adaptation. Like,
yeah, and it was like so refreshing to like look at the Best Buy $5 bin. And I was like,
their
holy
$5 bin was like, there was like, we were looking at like elementary school in Walmart, and then we just got to like college at Best Buy. It was like, it's just way better.
Yeah, so I bought Rio Bravo for the John Carpenter commentary, and I also bought Good Will Hunting.
Nice. Yeah, we talked about Good Will Hunting. And what did I get? So I got Zootopia, and then for $11 they had Revenant on sale on Blu-ray. So like, how could I not get that for $11
with deleted characters?
Yeah, I think a misrepresented sticker accidentally got put on mine too. It was like tons of bonus features, deleted scenes, deleted characters. I was like, what does that mean?
Meet Johnny the Beaver Pelt Man.
Yeah, meet Benny Beaver Pelt. Like, I'm glad he was cut. Like, I'm glad he was deleted.
Yeah,
but yeah. So that was odd. I need to open that up and see if there's like deleted character trading cards.
Yeah,
like I'll trade you Benny Beaver Pelt for like Tommy chewing tobacco. Like,
yeah.
I love The Revenant though. I mean, I saw it like twice in America, and I say in America because when that movie came out, I saw it in America. Then like a few weeks later, I went to China for a month, and I saw it in China. And we should talk about my China experience in another podcast.
We should do one called the China episode.
Yeah,
and that's have its own
that
thing.
Fucking sucked. I mean, China was great, but seeing a movie there fucking sucked. We'll go on
more
to
on that
China
later.
Episode. Yeah,
news at 10.
Yeah, news at 10. Mike goes to China. But anyway, so then we're thinking, okay, so we have the name for our show, we have the audio equipment. Andy Mo has agreed to get it all set up for us. Let's record a theme song.
Yeah.
And this theme song you heard before the show started was clearly not us, because
I wish
that
we could
was
say
professional audio.
Yeah, that's what inspired us. But
that song, that is Have Love Will Travel.
Yeah, and boy did we try to recreate that. But,
shoot, yeah, you should see our makeshift audio recording booth. It's 4 chairs and then 3 blankets to like.
That's our sound booth.
Oh God,
we're just sitting in a circle, like a kid's fort, essentially.
Yeah, it's exactly that. I was just saying that. I couldn't remember the word fort, but yeah, it's a kid's fort.
Yeah,
like the vacuum cleaner in the middle to prop it up and shit. Like,
yeah, and we're sitting there I record my part first. I do the da 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 tweet tweet da, and we lay that down for like a minute, and like okay, so we got that, and then Mike goes on there and does the John Belushi part,
Jim Belushi part.
Oh,
Don't
excuse me,
get it
I don't want to
messed up.
tarnish his
Don't
legacy.
fuck that
Sorry,
up. Yeah.
Jim Belushi part.
Half pod.
And yeah, we changed it to
Half pod will travel.
Exactly.
And I can't sing, as you can tell, for shit. But I can belt that. I can belt it out. I mean, I can sound like a drunk fat guy singing.
Yeah.
Which is exactly what Jim Belushi
Exactly.
was.
He did a good representation of Jim Belushi.
And maybe
Or
we'll share
Meatloaf.
some of that. We'll share some of that audio later. When
Yeah,
we're
maybe
better,
in like a little bonus or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. We can hold off on it because we can tweet. When we ended up like playing it, I don't know how it happened because we were listening to the playback on our headphones, but when we put it up against the actual song, we were like way out of tune.
Way out of tune.
But like, and not just that, out of sync too.
Yeah, yeah.
Like we were just like, how?
Well, out of tune. I mean, we're not professional musicians.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
say what you will about Dan Aykroyd, Jim Belushi now, but I mean, they are professional. They're trained. They know what they're doing.
Yeah, yeah.
We fucking don't.
Yeah.
We have no idea what we're doing.
So like, yeah, we started off in time with the song, but then like eventually just goes into, because we kept trying to like put like a drum track behind it, and then eventually it would just be so offbeat. They were like, how did that happen? And then we like played against the song, and somehow just while we're recording it, I maybe just stopped listening, and I just kind of started doing my own thing.
Yeah, because I did kind of get into it. Like I was listening to the song as I was recording my stuff.
Yeah, and so it just kind of got all out of sync, and so we just kind of like saved the session, and we're like, fuck it. If we keep tweaking this, we're not going to record an episode.
Right, we're not going to be able to get any podcasting done. We're just going to be working on the stupid theme song.
So we kind of just canned it. Well, we saved it, but
we saved it because we'll mess with it later. But yeah,
and then that's kind of where we got to where we are at this moment.
And then it was like I said, it was like 8:00, and Dana saw us to go back to Kuzbek. I'm like, well, shit, we really need to record soon.
Yeah, I'm thinking I might just stay over tonight.
You're more than welcome because we have a lot of stuff we got to watch.
Yeah, that's true. I brought over a lot of goodies.
Yeah.
I brought over a lot of goodies. We've been on a revenge flick kick.
Yeah, certainly revenge action flick.
Yeah, because first we watched John Wick. That was back in December.
And if you haven't seen John Wick, check it out because it's a lot of fucking fun.
Oh, it's great.
It's really fun.
Well, even before that, we didn't watch any of the movies, but we did a big Taken, like kind of the Taken movies. We talked about the Taken movies quite a bit.
Yeah, I still haven't seen one of them.
No, I haven't seen any of them.
And I own the definitive Taken box set.
Right. I'm more on that later. I want to do a Christmas episode where we talk about Christmas gifts.
Talk about our Christmas traditions.
Yeah. But anyway, we have this big Taken obsession where we just talk about all the Taken movies.
We're probably the most obsessed with that movie, and we've never seen a single Taken movie.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I can't tell you a single line of dialogue that wasn't in the trailer.
Yeah, me neither. I haven't seen a scene from that movie besides what's in the trailer.
Yeah, that's it.
But we watched John Wick, which we would call like the Keanu Reeves Taken. Because they've taken his dog, essentially.
Cancer taken his wife.
Yeah.
And then Russia taken his dog.
Yeah, exactly.
And then John Wick kicketh the ass. Like that movie was really awesome though. I mean, I love it. I'm a huge Keanu Reeves fan. I really am. One of my all-time absolute favorite hands down movies is, I don't care who says this, I've seen some of like the most obscure weird movies in the world. Like I have such a good, I think, range of films. Point Break is definitively will always be in my top 10 no matter what. And I mean, I've seen like, we went to film festivals in Chicago where we saw movies that were like blow your mind, so good, so emotional, so gripping, but I don't care. Like Point Break will always be in my top 10.
Hell yeah.
And I have a huge Keanu Reeves obsession. I love like everything he's ever done. And
yeah, I love Keanu Reeves too. And
I haven't seen Knock Knock.
I
heard
really
that
kind
of sucks.
I really do want to. Well, it's Eli Roth, so I mean it's schlocky, and I don't know. I like the idea behind it because it's a throwback to the old like exploitation movies, that
I bought you pizza.
yeah. I mean, that's kind of all Eli Roth does. It's kind of like tributes to. I mean, really, he just did Green Inferno, and it's really just Cannibal Holocaust. And Knock Knock is actually a remake of an already existing French movie, I think.
Le Knock Knock.
Yeah, Le Knock Knock is
it's called Le Knock Knock.
Yeah.
I'm an idiot.
I've seen one clip from that movie, and it's Keanu Reeves. He's all tied and bound, and they're like about to kill him, and he's just like, "I gave you pizza. What are you doing? I gave you free pizza."
like, don't kill me. I gave you pizza. Yeah. Like, if you give somebody pizza, that's like a truce. Like, you can't kill me. I gave you pizza.
Yeah, I was like,
what are you doing?
I was like, this looks like a good movie. And
we should watch that.
We really should. But John Wick, he's like legitimately a badass in that.
Oh yeah,
he's like he can like fuck up an army. Like
he does. Do
you see that video, like real life video of him at that gun range?
I thought it was fake, and then it really is him. He's like doing barrel rolls and backflips and shit, and he's like shooting targets.
Picks up an assault rifle and headshots this line of like dummies. Like I don't know how the fuck he does it.
It was incredible. Like, he's in tremendous shape.
Yeah,
I mean he does a lot of his own stunts.
And the dude's in his like late 40s. Like he's not a young man anymore.
He's not. Yeah, he's not Bill and Ted. You know, he's not Johnny Utah anymore.
Yeah, but man, he can kill it.
Yeah,
like,
he's in a really good shape.
Yeah, but anyway, another John Wick thing. I had to. You asked me like
really.
Oh
yeah. Okay. Yeah. So like I said earlier today, Dana really wanted to go to the record store. And a little bit about my personal life. I'm trying to get out of Oregon. I'm trying to move to LA. Me, my girlfriend, our cat, we want to move to LA, and I'm gonna go become a famous actor and comedian.
There you go.
So I'm really trying to save as much money as possible, despite the fucking $100 that has dropped on this audio recording equipment. Thanks for the chip in there, Dewey.
Well, this is productive. This
is gonna help keep me sane while I'm working my shitty job until I move to LA. Mm-hmm. But I'm really trying to save money, and I'm the kind of guy. It's like if I see something, I buy it because I have a good paying job, and I have disposable income. I don't have any kids. I don't have any real bills. So I mean, if I see something, bam, I buy it, which is a really terrible way to live because you have no money.
Yeah.
So we go to this record store, and this is an awesome record store in downtown Salem. Really, they have top notch stuff, and their prices really aren't too bad.
No. Well.
They're kind of spendy, but I mean, it's good quality shit.
Exactly.
It's not just like, oh, this is old beat up David Bowie album for $50.
Yeah,
I mean, they have some really quality stuff.
It's not a used record store. It's a fresh print, like pristine vinyl. Like even the used ones they buy.
Yeah, they don't take just shit. Like they take, like they do buy records from people, but they like if it isn't in good condition, they're not interested.
Yeah, exactly. So because I mean, I bought a bunch of shit there, and spent way too much money, but. Basically, yeah, you were looking through the used vinyl, and you were just like, "Oh shit!" And you didn't show me what it was, but you're like, "Dana."
Yeah, he was across the store, and I'm yelling across the store.
Yeah, you go, "Dana, you're gonna really have to try hard to convince me not to buy this, please." Like, there's a real sincerity. Like, you wanted to buy it so bad, but you knew you shouldn't, and I was just like, "Okay, let me look." So I walk across the store, and I
have it behind my back.
Yeah, and then he just throws it right in front of my face. And I just see fucking Keanu Reeves' face, and it's the John Wick soundtrack on vinyl.
It's the record store day edition, and it's printed on gunmetal colored vinyl.
Yeah.
How do I not buy that, man?
Yeah. And you're just like, dude, I didn't know what to say. I was just like, I'm not gonna tell you not to buy it. Like,
I'm like, you piece of shit. Because I told him like before we even walked in the store, I'm like, dude, I'm not spending a dime here. Because I'm the kind of guy. It's like, you know, like last time we went to record store shopping, I bought like over $50 for the old vinyl.
Yeah.
And I told him, I'm like, dude, like I'm really trying to like budget and not, you know, I want to get out of this town. I need to save money. Like I'm not buying shit. And then I see that John Wick, and I almost bought the Force Awakens album, and I'm like, I should not buy this. Like I'm not gonna buy it. And I put it back. And I keep going through their film section, like their used film section, and I come across John Wick.
Yeah.
Like, and it wasn't even very expensive. It was like $25.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I could easily buy this, but I'm not going to.
Yeah. Because, I mean, realistically, you have a pile of stuff that sits in the corner of your house. It would go on the pile.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't see or hear from it in a long time.
Right.
Probably until you're like down the road, settled down, and you're going through your shit.
Invest it back in like a record player.
Exactly. You don't even have a record player.
Don't say that. I feel like a dick. Okay, I have the most impressive vinyl collection out of anyone I know, and I don't have a record player. Like, 'cause my dad gave me all his old vinyl, and there's like fucking Iron Maiden and Judas Priest and Black Sabbath,
some
and
Frank
David
Zappa
Bowie
too, right?
Yeah, Frank Zappa. I mean, there's some really good shit in that lot he gave me, and I don't have any way to spin it.
It's okay.
Prick, I wish you didn't say that.
It's okay.
I feel like
we're just being real now, you know?
Yeah, and I mean, that's why buy a record when you don't have a player. And I just bought the Red Hot Chili Peppers new album, which is like now out of print. I'm glad I picked that up because it's like going to be worth money.
Yeah.
And it's been getting great reviews, that album.
The Getaway?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear it.
Yeah, so anyway, so I have a really, really nice vinyl collection. I have like I have a good range. I have Red Hot Chili Peppers, Kendrick Lamar, Rolling Stones, The Who. I mean, I have really good stuff. And good range.
Yeah, and I
have
mean,
a few film soundtracks and whatnot too.
And the way I think of it too is we've kind of like talked about way down the line, we're gonna get a house together or something like that,
Right.
and like live together and combine all the shit that we've accumulated.
Right.
And this year I'm actually want to invest in some serious vinyl stuff. Like I want to get like a record cleaning machine. I want to get like a cork mat so there's no static when you're playing the record. Like I want like a good system, and
Right,
it's like
right.
make all my stuff sounding like shiny and new. I actually just bought a receiver over at Goodwill for a pretty good price. And so I have like a receiver, some good speakers, my record player, and I'm gonna like start beefing up my audio.
Nice. I think you should. And I'm the kind of guy, you've seen my CD collection. I mean, I'm a huge CD fan. I fucking love CDs. I like having physical things.
Yeah.
Like digital is convenient and digital is great, like for convenience, but I like having physical stuff I can touch and all that. And CD players are a dime a dozen, but a good record player, I mean, you got to invest and you got to really do it right. So that's why I don't have one yet.
Yeah. And I mean, there's a lot of good choices to make too. Like, I just kind of bought, when I first started collecting vinyl, I just bought the first thing I saw on Amazon. And I ended up with a good record player, but I've actually kind of been looking into like some of the more like legit. Like,
I mean, you could
like,
legitimately spend over $1,000 on a record setup.
Yeah.
I mean, no problem.
And I mean, you hear the difference. I heard some like samples online and stuff like that, comparing different kinds of equipment and ways of cleaning the vinyl and reducing the static. And it's amazing. Like the people who are like adamant, like, oh yeah, vinyl sounds better than CD. Vinyl sounds better than anything. At first, I would just be like, fuck you, you're just nostalgic.
Yeah,
like, it's just old people that don't know
malarkey.
Yeah, and you don't know what you're talking about. Digital's cleaner. It's like but then when you hear just like either a newly pressed vinyl or one that's in good shape on a good recording system and everything and a good speaker, it's like it's a pretty amazing.
It's like hearing something almost for the first time.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you hear things you didn't hear before.
Yeah.
And one record form I was looking at was talking about Pink Floyd The Wall, and how like there was like, oh, I spun this on a really good system, and there was like little like hidden like vocal tracks I'd never heard before, like little indistinct conversations that Pink is having with himself about like suicide and shit or something like that. I can't remember exactly what the article said, but like I never heard that before. It's like I've been listening to this album for over 30 years and I've never heard that before. It's like listening to it for the first time.
Yeah.
But anyway, enough about vinyl and how amazing vinyl is, because it is. Maybe we'll get this first podcast pressed on a vinyl.
Yeah.
But
limited edition.
Yeah.
On gunmetal.
Yeah, on gunmetal vinyl.
Not
color.
even vinyl, like just gun
Just get
metal.
it pressed on metal.
Yeah,
that would sound awesome.
Yeah, and just fuck up everyone's record players when they spin it.
Yeah, jeez, that'd be great. Just ruin everyone's system.
Yeah.
Anyway, so this has been the first episode, kind of an introductory little thing we did.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of all. I mean, we pretty much our goal was to kind of just like bring you to where we are now, and I feel like
kind of catch you up.
Yeah, and then from this point on, we're gonna kind of start doing more what we do normally.
Yeah.
Just like kind of tell our stories and our. We kind of have about, gosh, how many years of friendship under our belt now?
Jesus, I think we're gonna be hitting the 10-year mark pretty soon.
Yeah, about 10 years of friendship under our belt, and well, maybe less than that because.
Well, I met you in like 2006.
Yeah,
No, I didn't meet you in 2006. I met you in like 2007.
I'm 23 now, and I probably met you when I was 16 or so.
You think? Was it that?
Because I remember I found footage of like my 16th birthday, and you weren't there. I think you were.
I
there.
didn't like you when I first met you, and you didn't like me. So.
Yeah, we didn't. More on that later. But
oh yeah, the when we first met.
Yeah. Oh
I
God.
did not like you. Yeah. I just picked on you.
Yeah,
and I did like you. I didn't have any real beef with you, but.
And I knew you weren't like bullying me. You were just kind of like having.
I was
fun.
never really bullying in high school. I was never like that, but I fucked with you a lot.
You
just
did.
Because Anthony Chavez was like, like your best friend, and he was a good friend of mine. So he's like, you guys need to meet. You both love movies. You both love music and shit I can't talk about. So you guys should totally meet up. And I made fun of Dana a lot.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Well, like, yeah. More about that later.
Yeah. We'll tell our friendship history episode sometime later.
Anyway, this has been the first episode of Half Pod Will Travel, hitting the 53-minute mark. I think we're gonna cut it. Dana, thanks for being on the show. I love you so much. I can't wait to see what we come up with. Thanks for agreeing to do this crazy shit with me.
Yeah, I mean, we'll basically just do it as long as we can do it.
I mean, even if people aren't listening, I don't really give a shit. It's fun.
I think it's more for us anyway.
Yeah, and if you like it, great. Leave a comment. I think we're gonna try to put this on YouTube and Facebook and shit like that. So leave a comment. Let us know what you think. Yeah. And if you have anything to say it, and maybe we'll talk about whatever it is you say. Probably not.
Say it to our fucking faces.
You say it to our face. You got something to say to me? You got something to say to him? No way, motherfucker. Anyway, yeah, thank you guys so much for not listening. And yeah, we'll see you probably next week. You want to do one?
Yeah, let's do that.
Sweet. Well, I'm Mike Milan.
I'm Dana Henson.
And this has been Half Pod Will Travel. Wow! Get out! Wow!